Okay, so I titled mine, Can I Have a Hug? It's about anime conventions versus band concerts. Now, to explain the title, it has a story to it. Whenever you go into a convention, one of the few things you hear is, can I have a picture of you and can I have a hug? See, I was walking around and I saw Alucard's big hat, the guy in the red with the big hat. I saw his big hat. He's my favorite character of all animes, so I just shouted his name and I just walked up to him and the first thing I said was, can I have a picture? And he goes, do you want a hug too? And I said, yes, can I have a hug? And I was like near tears, crying. And so I got 2 pictures of him and a hug. Actually, I got 2 hugs, and we said goodbye because we were not exactly the best spot to just stop and take pictures because everyone was walking around. But pretty much that was like my favorite memory ever. And then to explain why I did conventions versus concerts only, because my sister, when I told her about what I was going to do, she said, don't talk about something you know nothing about. I've been to conventions before, but I've never been to a band concert, but I've listened to my sister talk about them for like ever. So she just tells me about, throwing up one time or getting hit by someone, getting elbowed. She tells me about all the injuries she has all over her bodies for weeks on end. So these are 2 topics that I know very well. And then here's some vocab that I might use throughout my speech. I thought I'd explain them before I started using them. A venue is an event building, which includes conventions and band concerts, so I might use that one. Anime, a Japanese cartoon. Simply explained, manga is a Japanese comic book, and they usually turn into an anime. A badge is an indication of entry to conventions. I was going to wear one, but it's just a big old card you just wear in front of you. And then an otaku is a fan of anime, manga, etc. Like I'm an otaku. A panel is an open discussion to predetermined topics. Like a whole bunch of people just get in one room and they talk about a specific anime. A cosplay is someone dressing up as a character from an anime, a manga, a webcomic, like the Spider-Man right there. He's dressed up as, he's cosplaying. And then a convention, a con. I might call them a con, they're going to be interchangeable. And an example of cosplay was someone you know very well. This is Logan before the con, and that was him at the con in his fabulous pose trying to put on his wig. He was being someone from Attack on Titan. And now to actually get into the topic. That took a while. Now, when you think of family fun, you have to think of a lot of different things, like security. You have to think of protecting not only yourself, but the people around you. Like if you bring little children, you don't want to think, well, I'm going to have to keep them right next to me in order to make sure they're going to be okay. But at a con, there's a lot of security. There are people at the entryways that are cosplaying, and the only way you really know that they're security guards is because they usually wear a hat. Not this one, obviously, but another type of hat that says security on the front sometimes. There are wandering guards in their little blue jackets that has security written on the back. And then there are a lot of volunteers. So if there's a rule breaker or a fight, they usually take the people over to the side, the volunteers take away their badge of entry, and then they're escorted out of the building by the security guards. So all rule breaking is very well met and quickly dissolved. And then at concert security, there are guards at the doors to keep people from entering without paying and stuff, and to keep people from having fights in the line. And there are guards after the blockades. There are blockades keeping people from getting up onto the stage. But there are really no other guards around the concert, and it's quite dangerous inside the crowd because it's also jam-packed in there, and it's dark and very confined, so there are a lot of fights, issues, injuries, but people try to meet them as best as they can. And then family at con. Con is very welcoming to children, whereas concerts really aren't. They're very welcoming to almost everyone in your family. Like, I could have brought my grandmother. Actually, Mallory did bring her grandmother, and everyone had a ball. Young children have different things that they could enjoy. They could go to different panels. They could just walk around and talk to people. Adults also have R-rated things to look forward to, like a drinking party with 2 of the voice actors. Was known all you have to do is show your ID that you're over 21, and you can join them and just talk to them while getting a nice drink. And then older people, like Mallory's grandmother, found a battle arena. She just sat there and watched people fight with fake weapons, and it was very entertaining. And none of it was really taxing for anyone. And then family at concerts. Well, teens and adults are content, or young adults are content, but children can get easily hurt or lost. And that was like the main problem. Like you just have like a 4-year-old right next to you, and then suddenly they're just not there. You have no idea where they went, and there's so many people you can't really see them. Older people do not marginally enjoy it because of all the noise, all the people, too much energy at one time, so they usually stand in the back and don't like the loud noise. And there are a multitude of health concerns like stomach issues, dehydration. Pregnant people can actually damage some things because of the loud vibrations to the fetus. There's a lot of research on that one. And then more for my con was the bonding part of it. Like you just walk in and you pretty much geek out the moment you stand there. And the biggest thing that ever happened there is another story, was that there was a fight outside of the building, so the security couldn't really help, but there were some cosplayers outside, not these ones, it was a bleach group, this is home stuff, but a group was out there, they were just talking and taking some pictures, and a group of people that weren't a part of our con just walked up and started bugging them, trying to pick a fight with them. And so the bleach characters just started coming back in. We could all see them because of the glass, because it was all glass to see outside. And when they came back in, they kind of grouped up together. And then the people who were outside that started the fight tried to come back in and continue the fight. But when they walked in, everyone in the room turned and stared at them. And having 1,000 people in cosplay, I guess, is a little creepy, having them stare at you, because they turned around and they left. They didn't start the fight anymore, and there was no need for security or anything. You have a big protection because everyone in there is like family. And it's very cheap to go there. It's really not that expensive, especially if you live in the area. So just having a whole bunch of people that are like family and being able to go there with a big group is just a lot of fun, and it's actually relatively cheap. And then one of the quotes I have, this is from a veteran cosplayer. She was asked, "What's your most memorable cosplay?" And she said, "I have so many. Every time I finish a costume, it's always memorable. But I guess my first con is the most memorable. Although it was small, but first con plus first cosplaying at con is the best. I got to meet cosplayers face to face and had a great time with everyone." And my sources are all the photos belong to me. So if you're ever thinking about where you should go, maybe with a family, a big group, you want to just go someplace that's relatively cheap, consider cons.